again sitting here with Kasper Gjedsted, CEO of GreenMobility, on a backseat of a car. You know, last time we were also sitting on the backseat of a car talking. In the future, we will sit here. That was in a normal electric car. Now we're actually sitting in an autonomous vehicle. And I will get into why we are not driving around and making that video. But can you talk a little bit about the agreement you just did to prepare you for the future for autonomous vehicle?
Yeah, so the autonomous vehicles is a very scarce resource in the world at the moment. A lot of countries are waking up, seeing all of the potential for the benefits for the society and the mobility of the societies, not just for the cities, but also for the smaller and suburban areas. Yeah. And that's why we are in a competition now on a scarce resource. And that's why we are making this is the first LOI with Tensor to secure our supply chain. So that's basically the reason why we're doing it. We are basically following somewhat the same strategy of Uber and Lyft and some of the other big mobility.
So like in the bakery,
giants.
you put in your ticket, your number.
That's right.
When the whole world is, or Denmark is ready for this.
That's right. So it's basically about securing our supply chain here.
Perfect. And there's around 2,000 cars you have tried to secure. Yeah.
Yeah. So up to 2,000 cars is what is in this LOI.
LOI. Perfect.
Yeah.
Then let's talk a little bit about why we are not shooting a video driving around with no driver here in the front seat, because this car can actually do it. The steering wheel can fold in. Is that the legal framework in Denmark, and how far are we?
So from a legal perspective, we're actually pretty far. I think we have a good law around this whole topic of autonomous vehicles. There was a new law in place earlier this year. So from a legal perspective, we're far. We have some minor adjustments that we would like to make. There are a few uncertainties, which there often is with a new law coming in, and especially with a new technology. And that's why yesterday I presented to the transport minister some of the adjustments that we would like to make.
Perfect. And I always, as an investor, politicians don't move fast. But why should they do it this time? Is that simply because there's too much to gain for society that you actually have high hopes that they will move here? I think Europe is starting to move. I think I heard about Switzerland, Holland, UK are starting to move. But is those benefits too big for the politicians to ignore, and that's why they should move?
So what I experience from the political side in Denmark is that they're very, very positive in their support of this. So I actually expect that the inputs that we're giving them, and that's also the first input I got from them, but the inputs that we're giving them towards this law is that something they're very willing to listen to and also to adapt to within a very short time frame. I mean, short time frame from a political point of view, right?
So I guess it can solve that there's no buses out in the countryside. Here in Copenhagen, why did we have such a big discussion about parking spaces in the last political election? I guess it's really big issues this technology could solve, I guess.
So the reason why the politicians are so positive about this autonomous technology is, as you say, they're solving a lot of problems from a mobility point of view. So if you take it on a state level, which is where what the minister represents, these cars can actually, they're super safe. Yeah. They make 90% fewer accidents than a car driven by a human. So that's number one. So with 90% fewer accidents, you need a lot fewer hospitalizations, you need fewer sick days, sick leaves. So from an economic perspective, from a societal economic perspective, there's a lot of benefits on this. It also eventually will give a better access to mobility for smaller parts of Denmark. Yeah. So for the rural areas, for example, where Denmark is spending a lot of money on public transportation for very, very few passengers, this is a perfect alternative. And we're standing here at the municipality square in Copenhagen. Already 2 politicians from the rural areas of Denmark have approached me just by passing by and say, can we get these cars? Can you start in our municipalities around in Jutland, for example? So it's super interesting to see that potential as well. And if you take a city like Copenhagen, we had the mayor of Copenhagen for technique and mobility. Line Barfod was also visiting us yesterday and seeing the car. And for her, it's also one of these, it's a missing link in terms of, how can we have a better city? How can we have a more livable city where we can take away the cars, the privately owned cars, and then share the cars, like this is a good example of. And on a November day with frost and snow and so on, this
not everybody's going to bike as he wants.
they don't go. They don't go on a bike, and the great thing about this car is that it comes to you, right? You don't have to walk in the snow or the rain in a dark November day and pick up a car. It's coming to your doorstep, and it delivers you to your doorstep or to the doorstep.
I think the transport minister actually said that was what he got as a minister.
Yes.
A private chauffeur car driving him to the place he needs a meeting, waiting outside for him and driving him back. He said that was some of his nicest part. Yeah, perfect. Now we're talking about society, because we do that. There needs to be an enabler. They want to do it. That's why we talked about that. But why do you want to do it as a CEO of a car sharing company, Kasper?
So currently, we have a very good company now. We have a sound company. We are delivering on our promises. We had 3 guidance updates this year alone. We have a very good development in our stock price. So we have a sound, very well functioning company with GreenMobility today. So why do I even bother to go into all of this, right? The reason is from a business perspective, it just makes a lot of sense. The current car sharing model that we have, the cars in that, they're driving between 3 and 6 trips per day.
Yeah.
A car like this, and we know this from other cities, it's driving between 20 and 24 trips per day. So obviously one asset can produce much more revenue.
Yeah.
From an operational point of view, these cars, as I mentioned before, are much safer to drive in. And with that safety comes much fewer costs for us, operational costs. So we don't have costs for repairs to the same extent. We don't have costs for insurance to the same extent. 90% fewer damages. That's a significant decrease in our cost of operating a fleet of electric cars.
Perfect. Kasper, I promise that one day we will actually sit on the back seat, drive in a car without a front seat, but we must wait and see how fast it will go. But thank you, Kasper, for taking us through taking us a little bit into this car and what you think about this new world.
Welcome. Sounds like the time is up.
Yeah.